This one is by far my favorite redstone trap, mainly because there's really no way you can get out of it, and I have a weird fascination with arrows, but yes, this one is going to be very exciting to make. It'll be a little trickier than the previous one, but it's gonna be worth it, I promise. So I think the best way to start this is just to walk inside the room in front of me and see what happens. Okay, so here it goes. There's a treasure chest in front of me. Seems pretty appealing. I'm gonna go take a look at it. Oh! Oh, and I can't even escape. Of course, again, like I always say, I'm in creative mode, so I'm not actually dead. But I would definitely be dead if I was not on creative mode right now. And I'd have no way to escape. Okay, so I went ahead and turned it off, but as you can see, there's really no way you can escape from this. You're continuously going to be bombarded with arrows, so even if you wanted to dig your way out, you're not going to be able to because those arrows are going to be pushing you around and you're going to be bouncing around, so it's not going to work. So yeah, it's really exciting, and I really would like to see the expression on somebody's face when they walk into this room, because it's so unexpected and overwhelming that it's just like, what in the world just happened? So now let's talk about how we actually make this. I think it would be best for this tutorial if we just went ahead and started with the area where the tripwire is tripped. And let me go ahead and add the redstone here. This redstone is attached to the block where the tripwire hook is attached to. So again, like we've talked about in previous videos, you trip the wire, the signal goes through. The first thing we'll see is that the signal is going to go this way, and it's also going to go through this loop that we've previously talked about. But we'll go ahead and look this way first. So the signal is going to come through and turn on these dispensers. And these dispensers will be loaded with as many arrows as you want. Each one of them will have as many arrows as you want. And when they're turned on, it will shoot out an arrow. And now the only problem with just having a current go straight into this and have nothing else is that if you just have the current going right here, turning and entering through the dispenser, each dispenser will only shoot one arrow. It's not really effective. We need them to continue shooting multiple arrows so that you can actually die, which sounds really cynical, but that's the whole point of these traps. So this is where the loop comes in. The current will go through and kind of go back and forth, and this current will come back here, and you can see this piston right here. So after the current goes through this first loop right here, actually I think it's this one, it'll go through. One of the currents will go this way and come back through this way and create that loop, and then this current will go this way, enter the piston will cut off this power surge that's coming through from the tripwire, which will allow the loop to continue, so that the loop will go round and around and around without just stopping. Now we can also see that the current goes up this way too. So what I've done is I've created a stairs, so you can see the stairs goes up, and then this stairs leads to a repeater right here, which is connected to a piston, okay? And the piston is going to destroy what we have right here, which is a little redstone attached to a redstone torch. So what is this redstone torch doing? The redstone torch is keeping this right here active, which is connected to this piston, which is turning on these two pistons here. Same thing happening over here. And what's actually supposed to be right here, and I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and add them because this is what's supposed to be here. This is where you put your gravel. And so when you trip that hook, the current's gonna go through here. It's gonna travel its way up this little ladder. It's going to enter this repeater, turn this on, cut off this signal that's keeping this one on, and after that occurs, this piston will shut off, it'll close, and then you'll have your cave in that kind of traps you into the room so that you can't escape the arrows. So it kind of sounds complicated. It definitely is, especially from a step from what we've been doing in my previous redstone tutorials. But if you just pay attention, go through what I just showed you, it's actually really easy, and I don't think it should be too difficult to make. Now the dimensions of your room can vary. You can have a bigger room, a smaller room. You can have more dispensers shooting out more arrows, or a narrower range of dispensers shooting less arrows. Whatever the case is, you can modify these, the size of the room. You can modify all of this. The only thing you need to make sure you have this, the first step, the repeaters going in to the signal coming directly into the repeaters that activate the dispensers. You're going to need the signal coming through this loop. You're going to need a signal going up this ladder, which will turn off this piston up here, which I just showed you. And then of course you're going to need that one piston down here that will disconnect the current as it first comes through, so that the loop can continue like it's supposed to. And this is repeated on the other side, so you'll just do the same thing on each side and you'll mirror it across. So I know that might have sounded a little complicated, you might be a little overwhelmed, but just repeat the video. You can rewind, rewatch it, pause it at certain angles or whatever, so that you can copy and paste what you saw me build. But for the most part, it's fairly straightforward. I've showed you exactly how to make it, so hopefully you guys can put this into your own worlds and pull off this prank, and hopefully you can see the expression on the person's face when they actually fall into this trap, because I think that would be pretty funny. But yeah, that's all there is to it. I appreciate you guys watching, and please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, or follow me on my Facebook page, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys.